Hi everyone, welcome to your Couples Budget 2.0 spreadsheet. This is a video tutorial on how to use it. As a general rule, please only edit white cells. Do not edit colored cells as they may contain formulas. I've put warning in place so you don't accidentally edit it. So for example, if you edit this cell here because it's colored cells, this warning message will pop out. If you want to edit the cell, you can always check the box and click OK because it's not locked. But if you didn't want to edit it, please select cancel. Please start with the setup sheet and write your categories of your savings, income, and expenses. All of the categories written here are fully editable, so if you prefer, you can delete them and then start fresh. So they are fully customizable to suit your needs. But please do not delete or add any rows. What I mean by deleting rows is doing this, right click and delete row. This message will pop out to prevent you from doing that. So please do not delete or add any rows. There are a total of 25 categories on each of these sections here and 16 saving categories and also 10 income categories. So if you need more than this, please reach out to me. So once you wrote all of your categories here, all of the other sheets will automatically update. So if you go to monthly sheet, for example, this sheet will reflect all of the categories that you wrote in the setup sheet. That's the same with all the other sheets. The next step is to write your name and then your partner's name. Again, once you've done that, this will be automatically updated in all the other sheets. And it's the same with the categories. Once you've added this, all the other sheets will update. So if you go to the tracker sheet, you can see under payer, you can allocate each transaction to your name or your partner's name. So at the end of the tabs here, which I will explain later, there is a separate dashboard for partner 1 and partner 2. So once you've updated or edited the names in the setup sheet, this will automatically update as well to show your name and your partner's name. I'll come back to these sheets later. Now these two columns here is only to show your recurring income on the bill calendar. This is not going to impact the calculation of your income. This is purely just for the visual of your bill calendar. So please input the start date and the frequency of your recurring income. There are three options here: weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. I will explain shortly how you can make this bi-monthly. But yeah, please enter the date, the start date, by double-clicking the date and choose the first pay date of the month. Choose the frequency, and once you've done that, when you go to the bill calendar under bill sheet, you can see that your income is now highlighted in black. You only have to do that once because when you move on to the next month and month after month, your income will be automatically shown as per the frequency that you chose. So this column here is optional. If you want to see income distribution between you and your partner, feel free to allocate each income to an income earner. But you don't have to do that if you are doing this budget and you just want to calculate everything as a joint expenses and joint income, because in your monthly sheet, you will see your total income of both you and your partner. So if you don't want to see the income distribution, so I'll show you what I mean. So this is what I'm talking about. So if you don't need to know your income distribution between you and your partner, then you don't need to allocate income earner in this column here. And also, of course, if you want to use partner 1 dashboard and partner 2 dashboard, you would need to allocate income earner to each income. So now let's move on to the tracker sheet, the next tab. So this is where you log all of your transactions, all of your expenses, savings, and income. Expenses and savings are to be logged in this table here, and any incoming money is to be logged in this table here. There are up to 5,000 rows, so you won't run out of rows. So you'll find there is an instruction in row 1. Feel free to hide it. So you can do that by right-click on the row and hide the row. So I'll show you how you can log your transaction. It's pretty straightforward. Please log any expenses and savings by entering the date, category, subcategory, and amount. So these first 4 columns are mandatory. Enter the date by double-clicking on the date. Select the date. Choose the category. Is it bills, debt, subscription, variable expenses? So for example, if it's variable expenses, then you need to choose the subcategory, which is what you wrote in the setup sheet. You can choose hair and beauty, for example, and then the amount, 75. So this is really important. Column E till column J are optional. So for those, who don't want to separate their expenses and just want to track everything like all expenses, savings, and income combine or join together as a couple, you don't need to fill out these columns from E to J. So what you can do is right click and then hide columns. So this is suitable for those who just want a simple couples budget and don't want the additional work on separating everything. You don't have to do that. So all you need to do is fill out the first 4 columns. And then when you go to the monthly sheet, which I will explain in detail later, this will show you all of your joint expenses. So for those of you who want to separate your budget, then please use column E until J. Please allocate payer to each transaction. So I can allocate it to Sam, Lisa, or combine. Now this column here is for those of you who want to track your bank account. So before allocating your account here, please go to account sheet and then list your bank account in this table here. There are up to 25. Once you've done that, when you go to tracker sheet, you can allocate what you wrote in that sheet. So allocate it to the account you're using to pay for that transaction. Now, if you want to split a transaction between you and your partner, so I just made a new transaction in a new month, April, for eating out. So for example, if Lisa is the one who's spending on eating out and she wants to split it between her and her partner, first please enter the ratio of partner one. Partner one in this instance is Sam. So if you want to split it in half, please enter 50% and then check the box. What will happen is it will split this amount automatically 50%. So $60 will be under Sam and then $60 under Lisa. You can enter a different ratio or percentage, for example, 60%, and it will automatically split it 60% for Sam and 40% for Lisa. So let's go 50%. And what will happen is if you go to the partner one and partner two dashboard, so if I go to April, so now this is the April dashboard under Sam. You can see under actual, it will automatically populate that amount, $60 under eating out. And then for partner two, you have to also choose the right month. Don't forget to do that. So April, and then you can see that it's $60 there as well. So that's fully automated. If you want to use bill split feature, that's how you do it. If you're splitting your bills in a certain percentage to all of your transactions, I would suggest to copy and paste to all of the following rows. So I would select all of the rows, highlight them, and Control V. So copy and paste it to all of the rows so that you don't have to do that every single time. One more thing, what we'll also calculate is this table will show how much you owe to each other. So if Lisa was the one who paid for it because you allocate Lisa as the payer here, then this table here will automatically calculate that owing to Lisa $60. And then when you go to partner to dashboard, owing to Sam 0, and then owed to me $60 because this is Lisa's dashboard. And this is the summary of it. So when it's minus, it means that Sam owes Lisa $60, minus $60 in total. So you can do that for any transaction, bills, subscription. You probably wouldn't split your debt, but then bills, subscriptions, and also savings here is the example when you're splitting savings. So for car maintenance, for example, both Sam and Lisa wants to chip in $100 in total, but 65% is from Sam and then the rest is for Lisa. You can easily just log that amount, check the box, enter the 65%, and then it will automatically calculate that. These amounts will be automatically populated to partner one and partner two dashboard. Cool. Moving on to the income table, exactly the same. How to log your income is to enter the date, category, and enter your amount here. This is again optional, but you can enter or allocate account to each income transaction if you want to track your bank account balance. So once you've logged all of your transaction and all of your income in this sheet here, everything will be automatically calculated for you in these 3 main dashboard here called monthly, paycheck, and annual. So monthly dashboard is the summary of your income, savings, and all of your expenses together as a couple. So this is the total of your joint income, and this is the total of your joint expenses, and again the same with the savings. So this is ideal for those who don't need to see separate summary of income, expenses, and savings between you and your partner. So how to use this sheet? So in this sheet, everything is automatically populated for you. So all you need to do is to log your expenses, savings, and income in the tracker sheet, and they will be automatically populated under the actual columns of each of these tables here, and here. All you need to do in this sheet is to select the month. So to go from month to month, please select the first of the month. So if I want to go to February, I can select February, and all the tables and charts will automatically populate the February data that you log in the tracker sheet. To go to March, simply select the 1st of March, and this sheet will automatically populate the March data for you. You can also input your start balance here. So start balance is remaining balance or remaining funds from previous month. So feel free to enter any amount here. So if you have $55 from the previous month, you can enter it here. It will then automatically populate it in this monthly summary table in these two cells here. So budget versus actual. So what is budget column? So budget is your goals, or you can say projected amounts or allowance. So you can see in all of these tables, you have budget versus actual. So you can manually input your allowance or projected amount in these white cells here. But for recurring expenses and income, I have input a formula under the goal or budget columns so that it's to match your actual columns. Remember, actual columns are automatically populated from the tracker sheet. This is to make it easier for you so you don't have to manually input your goal or budget amount. And the same for the bills. If your rent is always $2,100, you can just log it in the tracker sheet, and then your budget column will automatically reflect that as well. Remember, you can always adjust it because everything in white cell means that you can manually enter any amount. So feel free to delete the formula and enter any amount here. This is the most handy when it comes to variable expenses. So in this example here, I've allowed $500 total for the month of March for my eating out category. Your actual column will automatically calculate all of your eating out during that month from what you log in the tracker sheet. And then this column here, the remaining budget, is your budget minus actual. So it will calculate automatically your remaining budget for variable expenses here. So this spending breakdown here, this is only your variable expenses. So it's extracted from this table here. So this is so that you can easily track the breakdown of all of your variable expenses here, such as eating out, groceries, and so on. This diagram here is your budget versus actual, just this versus this of all of your bills, debt, subscriptions, and variable expenses. Something to take note for is when you're going from month to month, you need to adjust the start balance. So when you're going to the next month, for example, in April, and you have a different start balance, please don't forget to adjust this. And that's the same with the goal for savings and the variable expenses as well. Now, you can duplicate this tab if you want to save the start balance of each month. So to do that, please right click and then select duplicate. And then you can rename this January and make this monthly tab, which is the original tab, always make this the current month and February. This message will pop out. This is when you want to check the box and then select OK. Then under January, you can make this the January and then make this $55. And then under February tab, you can leave it $75 there. So that's if you want to save exact information each of the month, you can simply duplicate the tab like that. Now moving on to the Paycheck dashboard. So what is this Paycheck dashboard? This is only for those who wants to track their budget between certain period that is not monthly. So some of you who get paid bi-weekly and bi-monthly sometimes wants to track your finances between those bi-weekly period or bi-monthly period or even weekly period. So the same with how the monthly dashboard works. All of the tables and charts here will automatically populate the data that you log in the tracker sheet between the days that you input in these two cells here. If you don't want to use this sheet, feel free to hide this sheet by right-clicking on the tab and then select Hide Sheet. Remember, everyone is different. Some people really like detailed budgeting. Some people want a very simple and straightforward budgeting, so you don't have to use all of the sheets. If you don't want to use some of the sheets, feel free to hide any sheets that you're not using. Annual dashboard. So this sheet is a detailed annual summary of all of your income, savings, and expenses. The tables on the left-hand side here is your joint income, savings, and expenses. Everything in the sheet is automatically populated for you, so you don't have to do anything here other than selecting the starting month and the current month. To do that, please double click on the cell and always select the first of the month. Don't forget to select the current month. You don't have to start in January, you can start at any month. So if I choose February here, all of these tables here will start at February. So this is your total income versus total expenses, your cash flow summary, and then your total income breakdown ratio. Please scroll down to see your breakdown of your expenses. So you'll be able to see a detailed breakdown of how much you spend on your eating out, groceries, rent, internet bill, electricity bills, your debt, and everything in these charts here. The further breakdown is summarized in all of these tables here if you scroll down. Now, if you scroll to the right, this is where you can see your total and average from the month that you select here till the current month. So you'll be able to see your total and average of income, savings, variable expenses, bills, and debt and subscriptions. And then if you scroll all the way to the right, column S until column X are for those who wants to see the breakdown summary between you and your partner. You'll be able to see the income distribution between you and your partner, savings distribution, also expenses distribution of your variable expenses, bills, debt, and subscriptions. It's handy for those who wants to see that detailed breakdown summary between you and your partner, but otherwise you can always ignore these tables here. These columns here won't populate correctly if you haven't chosen the right current month, so make sure to choose the right current month here. Let's move on to the bills sheet. This is where you can see your bill calendar. Please do not duplicate this sheet. To go from month to month, simply double click on this cell here and then select the next month by selecting the first of the month. Always select the first of the month, otherwise the calendar won't populate the dates correctly. So if I want to move on to February, I will choose the 1st of February. So all of the days will automatically populate for you. So as per the name bill calendar, this will only show your recurring expenses, which is your bills, debt, and subscriptions. It won't show your variable expenses. Please note that each date can only show up to 5 bills. If you scroll to the right, this is how you track your payment progress. Now, this table is automatically populating your bills, debt, and subscriptions that you log in the tracker sheet. So when you check the box, it will update the total paid and total unpaid at the top of the calendar. You can also see the total bills of the month in this cell here. So if I keep checking this, you can see that it keeps updating it. So you always can know in easy view your total paid and total unpaid of the month that you choose in here. And also you can see when I check this box that your paid bills are highlighted in a darker color. So it's easy for you to navigate and see which bills are paid on this bill calendar. So very important when you're moving on to the next month. So for example, if I move on to April, please remember to uncheck all of the paid box. To do that, you can select all of those cells in the same time and then press spacebar to uncheck them in the same time. So account sheet is for those who want to track their bank account and see their end balance. To use this sheet, please write your bank account name here. You can delete this and write your bank account name. As mentioned before, when you log your transactions in the tracker sheet, make sure to allocate your bank account here under F column. These 2 columns here will automatically calculate your incoming total and outgoing total based on the dates that you input in here. So make sure you input the correct dates, because if you didn't input the dates, then it won't populate anything in there. So you can input your start balance here. Important to note that if you have a balance for your credit card, always put minus so that your end balance will calculate correctly. So 50, 30, 20 shades or needs wants dashboard is an optional dashboard. So to use the shade, please select the start date and end date, and then scroll down and please allocate needs or wants to each of these bills categories, subscriptions category, and variable expenses category. Once you allocate the needs or wants to these tables, then everything will be automatically populated for you. Please make sure that you have logged your income in the tracker sheet, otherwise this whole sheet won't populate because it is based off your income. So this shade will automatically calculate how much you spent on your needs versus your wants. So this is your actual breakdown here. You can also input your goals for your needs, wants, savings, and debt. Once you input your goals, then the amount of the goals will be automatically calculated. So everything here is of your joint income and expenses. The good thing about it is you can select any start date and any end date. So it doesn't have to be within certain months. So you can do it from, for example, in this one, the 1st January until the 31st of March, or you can do it for the whole year or 6 months period or any period really. So you'll be able to see in the bigger picture how much you spend on your needs and wants between any periods that you select here. This table is quite handy as well to see your highest to lowest expenses during that period there. Savings sheet is the summary of all of your sinking funds or savings categories. So you can see each saving categories is summarized in these diagrams here. You can input your goal amount in this row here and your starting amount. So once you've logged your savings in the tracker sheet, everything will then be automatically calculated here. So you can see your total save amount of each saving categories, your goal versus save diagrams here, and then your savings progress. If you have an ongoing savings, simply delete the goal amount. So when you delete the goal amount, it will automatically show as ongoing saving. You can also see the total left to save, total goal, and total save amount summarized in this table here. You have 3 saving calculators. So the first one is to calculate your monthly contribution based on your goal amount and goal date. So this table here is to calculate your monthly contribution. All you need to do is input the start date and the goal date. It will calculate how many months to get there and then automatically spit out for you your monthly contribution based on your goal amount, start date, and goal date. Savings calculator option 2, which is underneath that table, is if you have a certain monthly contribution and then you want to know the goal date of your savings based on your saving goal. So if I have $250 for a holiday and I put $4,000 goal amount, please input your start date here. Then you'll be able to know your goal date automatically calculated for you in this column here. The third one is to calculate a certain percentage of your income. So if you want to know how much is 10% of your income, simply enter your savings ratio here. So this is populated from the Partner One dashboard. So if I go to Partner One, if I choose January because I have logged the January income, I'll go back to January and then go back to savings. You can see now that this automatically populated income, 10% of that income is $435. So all you need to do here is to enter the percentage here and this cell here will automatically calculate it for you. So these savings calculators are just tools to help you figure out how much your monthly contribution is. To log your savings, once you know the amount, please do that in this tracker sheet by entering the date, categories, and amount to each of your saving categories. One last thing about savings is when you're ready to spend your savings. So for example, if you have $1,000 saved for holiday and you're ready to spend it, so all you need to do is log that amount as a minus on the tracker sheet. Log that amount under holiday and then minus $1,000. So please put minus here. So when you do that, it will update this sheet here. As you can see, it was $1,000 before. Now it's 0. So you can input any amount. So for example, if I want to put $800 because I just want to take $800, you can see that it's now become $200. So it will add that amount. This $800 is a positive balance added to this end balance. So then you can actually spend that $800 on the spending itself. So for example, if I want to spend it on a vacation, I will add that as a category here and then allocate it there, vacation, $800. So when I go to the monthly, you will see that vacation, $800. And then you see the end balance becomes minus $65 because I have spent it in here. So that's Snowball Tracker. This sheet can only be used with that Snowball method. What is that Snowball method? So this approach involves paying off the credit card with the lowest balance first. Once this first debt is settled, the monthly amount that were previously allocated towards that payment are then directed towards the debt with the next smallest balance and so forth until all debts are cleared. So how to use the sheet? First, please select the current month and the starting month. If you want to have a consistent monthly extra repayment each month, you can enter here, but otherwise you can just keep it 0. Once you enter the current month and starting month, please scroll down to this table here. This is automatically populated from the setup tab. So all you need to do is to enter your start balance, your minimum payment, and your interest rate of each of the debt. Then these tables above will automatically calculate everything for you. There are up to 25 debts allowed here. This table here is if you want to add or reduce debt at certain month. So for example, in March 2024, I want to input extra repayments. So if I delete this, you can see that my debt is paid off by November 2024, but I have extra money that I want to input or add to that month, which will impact when I will pay off my debt by. So vice versa, if in the future you want to take out money, so if you want to reduce it to just the minimum payment, which is $50, you can do minus 150 here, and everything will be automatically calculated for you if it's impacting your payoff date or not. And all of your totals are calculated here. This is your total current balance, your total balance paid to date, total payment this month, and then total minimum monthly payment. Everything else are automatically populated for you. Your current balance of each debt are shown in this row, and this row here are showing the progress of each of your debt payment. Now, Partner 1 and Partner 2 dashboard. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, are for those who want to separate their budget. So you can have separate budget between you and your partner. So feel free to rename this by right-click on the tab and then select rename. So you can rename this Sam, for example. If a warning message pops out, please select OK. And then you can right-click on this and then name this Lisa. Let me put this back to January, Sam, January. So just to recap, to utilize the shades, you need to allocate payer to each of your transactions. You don't have to split bills. If you don't want to, you can just allocate payer. But if you want to automatically split bills, you can check the box as explained before. So once you've done that, everything is automatically calculated in both of these dashboards. So you can see your actual is based on what you've input and allocate in the tracker sheet. You can see the total owing to the other partner and then the total amount owed to you. And this is the summary of how much you owe to the other partner. If this is negative, that means that the other partner owe the money to you. If you want to reconcile this number here, you can scroll down. So you can see that here is the breakdown of everything. This is all of the amount that owed to you, and this is all of the amount that owing to your partner of all of the bills, debt, subscriptions, and variable expense. Everything else works exactly the same with the monthly shade that I've explained before. It's just separated. This is isolated just for partner 1, and then the other one isolated for partner. So if you scroll down to the right hand side, this one here is just a calculator, it's not linked to anything. So if you want to use this as a calculator of how much you owe to each other, so owing this period, for example, from here, need to transfer to Sam 1,266, and then from previous period, if you owe 450, you can enter that. So this is the total of how much you owe, and then you can track it this way. If you have transferred $600 as the first money transfer, then you can see the remaining of what you need to transfer is automatically deducted here. Now, if you want to track it even further because you want that to be reflected in your accounts balance, which is this account sheet, then you can use this table here. So you can say money sent $600 from account checking 1 to account checking 2, and this amount here will be automatically tracked under checking 1 based on the date. So you have to remember that this will only populate between the two dates here, but that $600 is now calculated in these two cells here. This is the total to date, and then there are 57 rows allowed for that. So that is available to both of the dashboard of partner 1 and partner 2. That's it. So if you have any further questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. If you're looking for something that is more simple and less detailed, feel free to reach out to me. I have over 20 templates, so I'll be able to help you find the right template for you if you message me. I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you find this template useful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.